My life was a series of closing arguments. I was a trial lawyer. A good one. My job was to take a messy, chaotic, human situation and build a narrative so clean, so logical, and so compelling that no one could poke a hole in it. My apartment was a sterile glass box in the sky. My car was a silent, black sedan. My relationships were transactional. I didn't do unproductive. I didn't do vulnerable. I was a mind, not a body, and my mind was my weapon. The elevator in my office building was just one more thing that failed to meet my standards. It was old, it was slow, and it shuddered. And the guy who was always fixing it, a guy named Nate, was, in my opinion, a perfect metaphor for the problem. He was slow. He was infuriatingly calm. He'd be there in the lobby, a tool belt slung low on his hips, a look of quiet concentration on his face, and he would never, ever move faster, no matter how impatiently I sighed or tapped my expensive watch. He was a piece of friction in my otherwise frictionless world. It was a Friday night, almost 10 p.m. I was the last one on my floor, as usual, having just polished off a 90-page rebuttal. I was exhausted, triumphant, and already mentally outlining my Saturday work schedule. I got in the elevator, hit L for lobby, and checked my phone. The doors slid shut. The car moved about 3 feet, groaned, and then, with a sound like a giant dropping a bowling ball, it shuddered to a violent, absolute stop. The lights went out. The emergency light, a single, sad, yellow bulb, flickered on. My phone in my hand immediately showed no service. A cold, sharp, unfamiliar feeling pricked at the base of my skull. I hit the door open button. Nothing. I hit the lobby button. Nothing. I finally, with a huff of annoyance, hit the brass emergency bell. A crackle of static, and then a voice. A voice I knew. Yeah, this is Nate. You stuck? Obviously I'm stuck. I snapped, my voice too loud in the tiny dead space. Where are we? What's wrong? Looks like you're between 14 and 15. And the main brake seized up. It's an old system. It does that. It does that. That's not an acceptable answer. How long is this going to take? I have a car waiting. There was a long, patient sigh on the other end. It's going to take as long as it takes, Mr. Reed. Yelling at me isn't going to make the hydraulics move. I'm in the basement. I've got to get to the machine room on the roof. Just sit tight. How long? I demanded. An hour. Maybe 2. Try to relax. The speaker clicked off. 2 hours. Trapped in a 6x6 metal box. The air was already feeling thick. The silence was absolute. My heart was starting to do a fast, stupid, unprofessional tattoo against my ribs. I loosened my tie. I tried to find a signal on my phone. Nothing. I was completely, totally powerless. And I was alone. I was pacing, or at least taking 2 steps and turning, when the air in the car started to feel thin. I could feel the walls. They were too close. My breathing hitched. No, not here. I was a litigator. I didn't do this. But the panic was rising, a cold, black water in my chest. My hands started to tingle. Just as a real, full-blown, I am going to die in this box wave of panic hit me, there was a loud clang from above me. I yelled, stumbling back. Hey, you alive in there? It was Nate's voice, muffled, coming from the ceiling. Yes. Get me out of here. I yelled, my voice cracking. Okay, easy. I'm on top of the car. The motor room isn't responding. I'm gonna have to override the panel manually. And the panel is in the car with you. So open the doors. Can't. They're locked by the same brake. I gotta come in through the hatch. Stand back. There was a metallic scraping sound, and the emergency hatch in the ceiling popped open. A second later, a pair of dusty work boots dangled down, followed by Nate. He dropped lightly onto the elevator floor, a heavy tool bag landing with a thud. He was covered in grease, his face was streaked with dirt, and he had a flashlight in his teeth. He took the flashlight out of his mouth. Well, he said, his voice way too calm. This is cozy. He was now trapped in here with me. The realization did nothing to calm me down. Just fix it, I said, my hands clenched at my sides. That's the plan. He knelt by the service panel, pulling a set of keys from his belt. He unlocked it, pulling the metal door open to reveal a horrifying, complex nest of colored wires. Okay, here's the problem. The main relay is fried. I can bypass it, but I have to manually bridge the connection. It's tricky. He dug into his bag. My breathing was getting worse. I was trying to hide it, but I was taking short, shallow gasps. The walls were just in. Hey, Reed. You okay? He asked, not looking up. I'm fine. Just fix the damn thing. You're not fine. You're about to pass out. You're claustrophobic, aren't you? I am not, I lied, leaning my head back against the cold metal wall. Right. Okay. He pulled out a small, heavy wrench. He didn't do anything with it. He just held it out to me. What? I said. Take it. Why? I'm not a mechanic. I know. Take it. I took it. It was heavy. Oily. What's it called? I don't know. A wrench. It's a 9/16 offset box wrench, he said, pulling out another tool. What's this? A screwdriver? Ratchet screwdriver. Philip's head. He looked up at me, his eyes clear and focused in the dim, yellow light. I need you to hold the flashlight, and I need you to hold it steady, and I need you to hand me the tools. You're my assistant. You got that? Your only job is to focus on me and my tools. Nothing else. I was confused, but I was also drowning. I nodded. Good, he said. Flashlight. Right on the panel. I need to see the blue terminal block. I fumbled, my hands shaking so badly the beam of light danced all over the wires. Steady, Adam, he said. His voice was calm. Not my name. Not Mr. Reed. He'd called me Adam. I can't see if you're shaking. Breathe out. Slow. Good. Now, name the tool I just put down. The rat thing. Ratchet screwdriver. Good. Now find the needle nose pliers. They're in the bag. I knelt, my $1,000 suit pants on the dirty floor. I dug through his bag. It was a jumble of metal. I found them. Good. Now hold the light. Right there. For the next 20 minutes, that's all we did. He worked. I held the light. He'd asked me to find a wire stripper, a set of hex keys, a tear-wrench. He made me name every single one. He was talking to me the whole time, a low, steady monologue. Okay, so the red wire is the 24-volt line, but the neutral is shorting. See that scorch mark? That's where she fried. So if I bypass that and jump it straight to the motor relay, I need the alligator clips. The little red and black ones. Yes. Good. I didn't realize what he was doing until it was already done. My breathing was normal. My heart was steady. The walls were just walls again. I was so focused on finding the right tool, on holding the light steady, on his voice, that I had forgotten to be terrified. He took the two thick, rubber-handled clips and jammed them onto the terminal. Okay, this is gonna spark. Don't freak out. He touched the second clip to the metal. There was a bright, blue-white zap, a smell of ozone, and with a groan that shook the whole car, the main lights flickered on. The ventilation system kicked in with a whoosh of glorious, moving air. We both sat back on our heels, breathing hard in the sudden, blessed, fluorescent light. You did it, I whispered, my voice hoarse. We did it, he said. He was still on his knees, looking at the panel. He looked up at me, and his face was streaked with grease. A small, slow smile spread across his face. You're a good assistant, lawyer. You listen to instructions. I was still holding the flashlight. My hands were covered in grease. My shirt was untucked. I was probably a total mess. And I was smiling back. Yeah, well, I said. I had a good boss. He got the car moving. He overrode the system, and we slowly, jerkily descended to the lobby. When the doors finally slid open, the rush of fresh, open air felt like a miracle. I stepped out onto the marble floor, feeling like I'd just been born. I turned to Nate, who was gathering his tools. I was supposed to just say thanks. I was supposed to just leave. But the words were wrong. Hey, I said. He looked up. You were right. I was panicking. Thank you. For, the tools. Anytime, he said, zipping up his heavy bag. Try not to aim for a full-blown attack next time. It's bad for your heart. He started to walk away, toward the service exit. Hey, Nate, I called after him, the word feeling foreign in my mouth. He stopped, turning. I owe you, I said. A beer? Or something? I'm buying. He looked at me, at my messy suit and my greasy hands. He looked at me for a long, quiet moment. And then he grinned. Yeah, okay, lawyer. A beer sounds good, but you're washing your hands first. You're a mess.